Welcome, sports fans, to a very special Continental Cablevision game plan. Tonight we're at Mentor Memorial Stadium for the 1993 Lake County All-Stars Save-A-Site football game. This game pits local area high school players who are graduating, 6 high school teams from the east side against 5 high school teams from the west side. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Lawrence, and joining me tonight, our play-by-play announcer from WLW 1330 AM radio, Mark Tromba. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening to you. Should be a great evening for football. And I'll tell you, this is two very talented football teams, obviously, because they are all-stars. But when you look at the talent in this football game, I think the West may have a little edge. They have quite a few Lake Catholic Cougars, of course, the two-time defending state champions. This should be an all-out passing aerial attack, I guess you could say. Both teams are going to put the football up in the air. The West with Lake Catholic, all the players from Lake Catholic, they like to throw the football. Jeff Schlatt is the quarterback from Willoughby South. He is going to audibilize, and Coach Gibbons has put in a lot of that Lake Catholic offense. But for the East, they are a little short in the quarterback department. Aaron Henkel, who does not have all that much experience, he does have some, he is going to engineer a run-and-shoot offense. So this could be very interesting in a high-scoring ball game.
You know, the conditions tonight are, I don't know if you'd say they're ideal football conditions. They're probably ideal baseball conditions, but it's probably 80 to 85 degrees. It's hot down here on the field. And until the sun goes down behind the trees, that's going to be a condition for the players to think about.
It's going to be very warm. They're going to have to drink a lot of water on the sidelines. But the field is in excellent shape. Rain from last night, I thought maybe it would soften things up, but the field's a little hard at this time. But this is a fast track, to say the least.
The Mentor Lions Club, of course, does a great job with this event every year. This is the 23rd annual, as we mentioned. It's become a real gridiron showdown. I think the senior players look forward to this every year. The different thing about this game is that there are some different rules involved in this game. And Mark, I'm not sure if you know them all off the top of your head, but maybe you could comment on those.
Well, the rules in this one, defensively, there are quite a few limitations. You can't blitz, you can't do any stunning. That's to protect the quarterback. So you're not going to see a lot of that. Inside the 5-yard line, they can go to a goal line defense. But also, on the offensive side of the football, if the team that scores is more than 15 points down at that time, they have the choice now of taking the ensuing kickoff on offense or deferring and kicking off themselves.
You know, in this game, a lot of things become factors, whether it's a star player who has an outstanding game or whether it's a coach who really drives these players to play a good game. We've got 2 excellent coaches here tonight, Wally Kessling from Fairport Harding, and, of course, John Gibbons, the 2-time defending state champions in Division III.
You know, coaching in this football game, I don't know how much of an effect. I mean, these guys have the talent. They've only had a couple of weeks to practice. Coach Gibbons says, I don't know how to get these guys up for a game like this. Just tell them to go out and have fun. Coach Kessling said the same thing to me before the ball game. So this is a game for the players, and they know what it's all about. They know what they have to do, and I think they'll come out ready to play.
And you mentioned talking to the coaches. We had the opportunity to talk to them before this game got started tonight, and let's hear what they had to say.
Joining us now is Lake Catholic head coach John Gibbons, who is the head coach this year of the West, and back in 1988 he was the head coach of the East in the Save-A-Site game. Coach, your second go-around is coaching one of these all-star games. Do you enjoy this type of atmosphere? It's got to be a little less pressure than you see with your ball club in the regular season.
Yeah, it's a little bit different environment. It's for a charitable cause, and for a lot of guys it's the last opportunity to play football at the high school level, and a lot of these guys will go on and it'll be their last game, so it has a lot of that going with it.
When you see quite a few Lake Catholic players are playing in this ball game tonight, it's got to be a thrill for them because this is their home field at Mentor Memorial, so that's one extra time they get to play on this football field.
Right, it has a very special meaning for them. They were undefeated here during their careers, and we made a big thing of it. We came back to this field after going up to Mentor High School for a couple of years, and because it was the tradition for Lake Catholic football.
Now, you look at this all-star game, there's going to be some limitations both offensively and defensively because you only have a couple of weeks to practice. Offensively for your team, are we going to see a lot of the Lake Catholic type style of offense?
Most definitely. I think we've reduced, maybe in our sheet we usually have somewhere 75 to 80 plays, and we've got about 37 plays on the sheet tonight, so there's a lot of wide open football on that sheet.
South quarterback Jeff Schlatt probably has a little pressure on him. He's going to have to call some audibles at the line of scrimmage. How is he shaped up during practices?
I think you could really see a big improvement in him in week 2. The first week, a lot of the concepts were new to him, and being asked to audibilize or go up and run a no-huddle offense at time, we're like, oh, what do I do now kind of thing. But he's a talented young man, and I think he's picked up on the offense very well.
You look at the defensive limitations in this game. Can't blitz except, you can go to maybe a pressuring defense inside the 5-yard line on a goal line situation. But you have limitations tonight, and that's probably against your style of defense where you like to go after it and be very aggressive.
Yeah, I guess our style at Lake Catholic, we'll bring a linebacker quite a bit of the time, so that won't be a factor in this game. But I think one thing we do, our linemen are pretty much in a pass rush technique at all times, so it doesn't take the aggression away from our linemen. And our secondary, we mix up our coverages, and that's legal in this game.
It's probably a good idea to be in a pass rushing situation because the East will probably go to that run and shoot offense.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are going to use a lot of one back and wide open. Our offense is more of a drop back and bootleg, and the run and shoot's more of a rollout, but there's going to be plenty of excitement here tonight for the fans.
Coach, how do you get these guys enthused about playing in this game? This is not like a playoff football game. This is all-star atmosphere. What can you say in the locker room to get these guys going?
I think it's exciting. They're right in their communities. They got a lot of people watching them here, and all these guys have made a name for themselves in their own schools, and they want to be remembered as their last game being a real good one.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you, Mark.
Coach Kessling, with your boys that you've got together, I know you don't like to call them boys, but you've only had 2 weeks to get them together and work on an offense that you're going to use. How did you approach that?
Well, we figured to try to keep it as simple as possible and something that they could have some fun with. We put in a reasonably simple offense with a basic set that we can do a lot of things out of.
I know going into this game, one of your challenges was at quarterback. How did you handle that?
Well, we felt pretty good the start of the practices with Jason Beatty, and the Mentor's quarterback. We ended up having to drop out due to a conflict with his work schedule, and we ended up having Aaron Hinkle be our quarterback tonight, even though he didn't quarterback for us at Fairport last season.
Now, going into the offensive plays for tonight, do you anticipate a lot of passing and aerial attack?
Well, I really enjoy throwing the ball. Some of my coaches that work with me don't really care for that kind of offense, but it's exciting for the players and exciting for the fans. I know Lake Catholic throws it around a lot, so I expect to see a lot of them in the air tonight.
When the News Herald preview of this game came out, I think you were quoted as saying you think it's going to be pretty much a defensive struggle. You still see that going into tonight's game?
Well, again, the defense is always going to be much stronger than the offense, no matter how long you get to practice, because it seems like it's a lot easier to just chase the guy down with the ball. But the way the rules are set, I think the offense has a pretty good chance tonight.
Let's talk about those rules a little bit. Normally you don't have to play by those rules during the season, and so you have to prepare the kids so that they understand them. How'd you go about that?
Well, we basically put in some general, normal, straight-up defenses. We're going with some kids that are reasonably strong and quick up front, and I think the rules are there just so the offense has a chance. If you were able to stunt and blitz people, I don't know if the offense would ever get on the field, perhaps.
Wally, this is your third time of doing this. What have you learned from the last 2 times, and what do you look for that might be different tonight?
Well, I think one thing you always learn dealing with high school men aged 18 and under is the fact that always expect the unexpected. You never know exactly what you're going to get from the other people's kids. They've always been great, but you always got to be ready for anything that would happen to you.
You know, Wally, one of the things I noticed with you around the men is that there seems to be a lot of camaraderie. There seems to be a lot of spirit and a lot of looseness to these guys. Is that how you approached it?
Well, we tried to make it enjoyable for them. We've talked to them about when they come on tonight, it's got to be business as usual, but it needs to be something. I think this is a great game, and it's a chance for a lot of camaraderie for the other schools involved. The 5 schools on our side, all the kids had a great time, and I think they've grown from that.
Well, Wally, thanks for being with us, and good luck in the game tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with the introduction of the players and coaches and the opening kickoff right after this message.
The Screwball.
Batter up.
The Foul Ball. The Pop Fly. Catch Watch all the action of Baseball 93 from the first pitch to the final out. Get the whole story behind Baseball 93. Saturday on CNN.
This summer, CBS is a great place to race. On Saturday, July 17th, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, it's the ARCA 150 from Pocono. Then on July 18th, same time, same place, NASCAR's big boys get ready to rumble at the Miller Genuine Draft 500. A super fast doubleheader, live beginning July 17th, exclusively on TBS.
Welcome back to Game Plan, and here we are at Mentor Memorial Stadium for the 1993 All-Star Save-A-Site football game. And Mark, without a doubt, this is a hot one.
Absolutely. The temperatures are in the mid-80s. The sun's starting to go down, starting to set beyond the trees, and we are set for the opening kickoff.
And here we go.
Chris Luoma will kick off. He represents Mentor, and the big guy kicks it end over end to the middle of the field. Scott Yomel takes it at the 8, to the 10, 15, 20, to the outside, gets a block, and he's brought down at the 26-yard line. And that is where the West team will go out on offense for the first time.
Tackle made by number 10 there. Jeff Slatt came down and made the tackle.
Looking at the Western All-Stars on offense, it will be across the front line. Ed Blocker from Lake Catholic, Andy Gusty from East Lake North, Dan Holians, the center from Lake Catholic, Joe Morse from East Lake North is the right guard, and the right tackle from Wycliffe is Fred Cook. Tight end is Scott O'Donnell from Lake Catholic. Wide receiver Scott Yomel, who took the opening kickoff. The backfield, Carmen Alacqua, and the quarterback is Jeff Schlatt. Schlatt has Alacqua go in motion on 1st and 10. Schlatt to pass on first down, looks over the middle, throws deep down the field. It's going to be intercepted at the 40-yard line. Down the sidelines is from Mentor, number 44, and that is an interception, the first big turnover of the game, and the ball is brought down to the 15-yard line.
Derek Stetter made the interception.
So Stetter brings the East on the verge of taking the first lead in the ball game as they have it first down and 10 at the West 15-yard line. That was a poor pass by Schlatt over the middle. It looked like a wounded duck, and Stetter stepped right in front to pick off the football.
I was going to say he has to warm up, but with this weather, he's probably too warm.
Aaron Henkel in at quarterback for the East. Henkel from Fairport checks over the defense. In motion is Ryan Rogers. And Henkel drops back to pass. He stumbles, and down he goes all the way back at the 23-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 7 or 8 yards on the play, and that one was just a couple of miscues to open up this ball game.
You got to imagine these guys are trying to feel themselves out, trying to get used to playing again.
And playing with other players they're not particularly used to. You know, that center quarterback exchange is something that might be a little different. You have Ben Johnson, the center from Harvey, and Aaron Henkel from Fairport. The fullback is John Dolce, and here is Ryan Rogers going in motion again, and a fumble on the snap, and let's see who has the football. It's going to be a third down, so the East does recover, and there is that snap and that inconsistency.
Looks like Aaron Henkel is having a little bit of trouble adjusting. Wally said that he hadn't played much quarterback during his high school career, and so he's got to have some time to get used to it.
Well, that offense for the East having their problems. They're moving backwards. Third down now. And about 19 yards to go for a first down. They need to go down to the 5-yard line. Henkel hands it off to Dolce, right tackle. There is nowhere to go. George Orlando stops him, and he stood him up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be fourth down for the East, and Coach Wally Kessling has an early decision to make.
You can see the West squad is already fired up. They're ready to stop the East on every play, it looks like.
That defense, George Orlando, a fine football player, is the middle linebacker for the West. 5'11", 195. He is going to attend Slippery Rock in the fall out of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. It is fourth down and 18 yards to go. Henkel is in the shotgun formation, and the snap, back he goes to pass. He's under pressure. He's going to be sacked, and he gets rid of the football. And what are they going to? They're going to count it as a sack, 1st and 10 for the West.
They said he must have already been in the grasp, so there was no.
O'Donnell was in there from Lake Catholic. for the West team. So the first miscue, that interception by Schlatt, does not hurt the West team.
I suppose he could have called the intentional grounding, but he was already in the grasp on that play.
All right, so the West back in business, 1st and 10. Pretty good field position at their own 38. Tusi and Riomel split wide to the right side for the West. Schlatt checks over that defense. Carmen Alakwa is the lone setback. Schlatt on 1st down, hands it off Alakwa up the middle, trips. He still maintains his balance. He's across the 40 to maybe the 42-yard line. And already some pushing and shoving. You know, the East has won 3 in a row in this All-Star football game, and 8 of the last 10 overall in the Save-A-Site.
And I'm sure the West is out to make a difference there this year. With Carmen Alakwa at running back, I'm sure they've got a good chance of making a big difference.
That defense for the East, running in that 4-3. Again, there's limitations on the defensive schemes that you could run in this football game. No blitzing. Schlatt on 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain by Alakwa. Turns and hands it off to him once again, and this time he is wrapped up in the backfield. It's going to be a big loss on the play. They're going to spot it back at the 35. A loss of maybe 6 on the play. And that time, the Eastern All-Stars got a good surge from the left side of that defensive front. So they'll bring up 3rd down and 13.
Looked like Leola from Menor made a good charge on that play.
And Luoma has caused all sorts of grief for teams last year. He was undecided where he's going to go to college. Last year, Luoma had a very, very good year. He had 28 sacks. Schlatt on 3rd down, drops back to pass. Here comes Luoma, the screen set up. Here's Alakwa. He's got some running room at the 40. It closes down. He's at the 45 to the 47-yard line. He's going to be about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
That was excellent play. They really sucked him in on the defense. They fell for it all the way.
That's a trademark of the Lake Catholic football team. They love that play.
And Alakwa, of course, is dangerous as anybody out in the flats.
4th down, and it'll be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. They need to get to the 48. The ball's just inside the 46-yard line. Jeff Schlatt out of the game, and in to punt is George Orlando. Here's the snap. Good blocking, and the kick is high. It's a wobbler. It's going to bounce at the 24-yard line, and down by Dan Sabron at about the 23. So the East will come back out on offense, 1st and 10 in their own territory.
East got a good bounce on that punt when it came down. Saved him about 5 yards.
Looking at that East offense, at left tackle, Bill Magano from Perry, 6'4", 195. The left guard is Jeff Cooper from Madison. Ben Johnson is the center. Wallace Cooper is the right guard from Painesville Harvey. Offensive tackle, Mike Baldzicki from Menor. At the wide receivers, Jeremy Beatty, wide receiver from Menor. Brett Rodstrom from Painesville Riverside. The backfield at the wingback. Now, this is a run-and-shoot offense. They have Mike Kapp from Harvey, Ryan Rogers from Perry, and John Dolce is the fullback. The quarterback we mentioned, Aaron Henkel. So our first time out on the field, we have no score with 6:17 to go in this first quarter of play here at Menor Memorial.
While we have the time to talk about him, I got a chance to talk with Aaron Hinkle the other night. He's in kind of a strange situation for him, but he feels confident. He's a big player, and he's got a strong arm. So he's looking for some good long-distance passing tonight, and I think Wally's going to let him air it out.
I think so. What have you got to lose in this game?
As we mentioned before, this is a real rivalry. The East leads in the all-time series 13-9, or we checked that. I think it's 14-8 in the all-time series. And of course, last year the East won by a very narrow margin, 15-14.
And they came back with 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to win that ball game. So here's the East back out on offense, 1st and 10, all at their own 23. Aaron Henkel has Mike Kapp go in motion to the left, and Henkel to pass on 1st down. He airs it out deep down the sideline looking for Beatty, and it is intercepted. Scott Gilmel from Lake Catholic comes up with a huge play. Boy, it doesn't get any better than that.
Henkel was looking all the way for Beatty that time, and he really let it loose.
So we have our 2nd turnover of the ball game. And the West back out on offense. So Henkel just like his counterpart, Jeff Schlatt, each with an interception now.
It was a good catch, too. It was a very difficult catch.
Well, he just laid out, and he caught that ball on his fingertips. Just a beautiful play by Yomel. So now the West back at it. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. We have yet to have a first down in this ball game. Here's Schlatt on the rollout, the play action. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to be brought down at the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. And in there for the defense was Mike Batigi from Fairport. He averaged 8 tackles a game this past year. It's a gain of 4, and 2nd down and 6 for the West.
That time it looked like a play action pass, but Schlatt made the decision to keep it. He had some open running room.
The West with Tucci from North, Yomel from Lake Catholic, and now Eric Anderson is in as a flanker, so they have 3 receivers to that left side. Carmen Alacqua is the lone setback for the West. We have 4:42 to go first quarter. Jeff Schlatt drops back. Here's a delay handoff up the middle to Alacqua, and grabbing a hold of him from behind for the nice tackle was number 52, and that is Craig Orsog from the Mentor Cardinals. It'll bring up a 3rd down situation now for the West. 3rd and a long 3. Ball spotted just shy of midfield. Coach John Gibbons in his 2nd Save-A-Sight All-Star football game as he won for the East back in 1988. 3rd down, Jeff Schlatt with 3 receivers in the game, 2 on the left side. Schlatt drops back 2 steps, fires over the middle, and the ball is caught for a first down at the 40-yard line of the East. A nice play as a sliding catch by Brian Worvey from Lake Catholic.
It's like number 27 from Riverside, Kevin Forney, brought him down.
So the first down, our first of the ball game. And that gives the West a 1st and 10 at the East 40-yard line. Still no score in this game. This put on by the Mentor Lions Club. Doing a fine job as always. The 23rd annual Save-A-Sight football game. 1st down and 10, Jeff Schlatt from Willoughby South, down under center. As again, 3 receivers set. You'll see that just like that Lake Catholic offense. He flushed out of the pocket, rolls left, throws on the run, lobs it for Anderson, and he just can't hang on at the 35-yard line, make it the 25. And that ball was again not a tightly thrown spiral, to say the least. Derek Stetter was in there on the coverage for the East.
Stetter was right on top of him. If it was a little bit closer, it might have been a good catch.
Well, even though you can't do a lot of blitzing, we've seen some pretty good pressure early on by both defenses.
You have a little delay out there. It looks like one of the players has his helmet off. Can't make out the number from here. While we got a little bit of time, we might mention that the Mentor Lions Club does this for several charitable causes. One, the Mentor Lions Save-A-Sight program includes raising funds for training blind dogs, which is a pretty worthwhile cause. Some of the proceeds also go to the Lake County Society of Crippled Children and Adults. St. Vincent's Hospital, the Lions Eye Clinic, the Deepwood Center, and several other charitable causes. A very worthwhile cause.
That incomplete pass to Anderson brings up 2nd down and 10 for the West. Tucci, Yomel, and Worvey now in. 4 receivers. As Alacqua flanks out to the right side. Schlatt drops back. Just a short drop over the middle. Here's Alacqua at the 29. He's got it for a first down, and he was brought down immediately. And another first down for the West. In there on defense was Kevin Forney from Painesville Riverside. But not before the West picks up another first down, and they are driving.
That's the kind of timing pattern that you really have to kind of work on, and these guys have only had 2 weeks to practice that. It looks like it paid off there.
That's right. Schlatt had a very tough assignment here. With the Lake Catholic offense, you call a lot of audibles at the line of scrimmage, and he's had to take all that information in the last 2 weeks. Alacqua was the lone setback, 1st and 10. Here's a give on a counter play, and he is swarmed under beyond the line of scrimmage. Beat about a 2-yard loss, and that one didn't fool anybody on the east. In there was Wallace Cooper from Painesville Harvey. He was the first one in. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 14.
Certainly looks like a passing situation.
Well, these players better keep a lot of fluids in them, especially the announcers, because it is warming up. Here is Schlatt on 2nd down. We have 2:05 to go first quarter. Still no score, but the West driving. Quick dump over the middle. It is caught at the 20-yard line by Scott O'Donnell, the tight end from Lake Catholic, and he's drilled immediately, but not before. It is very close to a first down and maybe about a yard shy. Chris Wilson from Mentor was there to bring him down. It's another quick hitter. Schlatt's just taking a couple of steps back and just popping the football over the middle.
That really looks like what's going to work tonight, especially to get started here. Maybe once he builds his confidence in his passing game, he'll air it out a little bit more. But
this may be a very long contest with so much throwing. We've not seen all that many running plays to this point. Dan Holian from Lake Catholic is the center for this West team, 6'4", 230 pounds. And he is snapping it to Jeff Schlatt. 3rd and less than a yard. Carmen Alacqua is the deep setback. Now we have movement. And looked like the West a little excited there to get the play off. And could be a 5-yard penalty against the West, and it is. False start. So now they'll have to reevaluate things here. And Eric Anderson drops off the field from South.
looks like Scott O'Donnell was a little anxious there. I wasn't sure if he was the one who stepped offside, but he certainly paid the price.
So now Yomel, instead of a tight formation, they're going to spread things out here on 3rd and 6 from the 25. Tucci wide right, Yomel wide left. Jeff Schlatt with a long snap count. He turns, hands it off to Alacqua. He's going to throw the halfback pass deep down the field for Yomel, and it's touchdown!
Excellent. That was such a slow developing play. It didn't look like it was going to amount to anything, but it had the defense off guard.
Boyance, Yomel caught that defensive secondary asleep that time, and he just raced right past him into the end zone. All Alacqua had to do was place it into that end zone, and Yomel ran it right underneath it for the touchdown, and we have a 6-0 West lead, and Jim Novakovic from Lake Catholic will be on to attempt the extra point under the hold of Jeff Schlatt.
Makes you wonder if there's anything Alacqua can't do. He runs, he catches, he throws.
Yeah, and he's going to Dayton to play college football in the fall. Here's the snap, spot kick is up, and its line drives through for the extra point. So we have 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. It is the West 7, East nothing here on Continental Cablevision as we continue on this Save-A-Site All-Star game.
We'll be right back right after this word from our sponsors.
The system that brings television programming to your home is like a huge tree with a main trunk, smaller branches, and thousands of twigs. Starting at the head end and main trunk lines, Continental Cablevision's network includes hundreds of miles of fiber and coaxial cable, hundreds of amplifiers, and thousands of connections to customers' homes. From the main trunk through the branches and to your home, this engineering marvel delivers dozens of crisp, clear television channels.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, for whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
Back here at Mentor Memorial, Mark Tromba along with Brian Lawrence, and we have a 7-0 score. The West driving down the field, capping it off on a Carmen Alacqua halfback pass, 25 yards to Scott Yomel. 2 Lake Catholic Cougars hooking up for the score. Jim Novakovic, another Cougar, adding the extra point, and it's 7-0. Novakovic will kick off for the West. Alston and Beatty back deep for the East. Here's the kick, end over end, sails deep downfield, and Alston's going to take it in the end zone. He'll come out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20-yard line, and that's going to be about it.
A lot of work to get it back out to the 20. He actually looked like he landed on one of his tacklers and was able to surge ahead about a yard.
And Alston, he is a dangerous player. He's an all-Ohio defensive back, but he can also run the football.
Makes you wonder if we're going to see him a little bit on offense tonight also.
Well, you'll see him. I mean, this guy is a big-time talent. And there's Jeremy Beatty, and he is limping off the field. Of course, for Menor, and that's one of their big wide receivers in this football game, may have twisted an ankle.
Makes you wonder in this heat if some of these injuries aren't going to be, or these players are going to be a little prone to injuries.
Well, the trainer's going to have his work cut out tonight. Nice crowd on hand here at Menor Memorial.
Pretty much compares to last year's crowd of 2,600. We don't have the official numbers yet, but we'll try to get them.
All right, Aaron Henkel and the East has their work cut out. They trail 7-0 with 27 seconds to go first quarter. Henkel rolls out, is going to take it himself, going to run it, and Nick Velasco comes up and meets him head on at the 24, and he goes down at about the 26-yard line. Gain of 5 yards, and it'll bring up second down for the East.
Now that's a position that Henkel's familiar with, running the ball.
It's almost like snapping the football to the running back in this type of offense. He could do whatever he wants with it. And that comes the end of the first quarter of play here in the Save-A-Site football game. It is the West 7, East nothing. We'll take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
Gonna take the whole wide world and bring it on to you. Show you things you never seen before. Teach you things you never knew. You can have it all with cable, everything you're looking for. Beautiful things around the world. Cable brings you laughter, tears, and more. It's a way to take the world and make it all your own. Cable television, we bring the world home.
Welcome back to Menor Memorial. Mark Tromba, Brian Lawrence, and this is the Save-A-Site football game put on by the Menor Lions Club. We have one quarter in the books, and the West leading the East 7-0. Been a couple of mistakes in this ball game so far, a turnover by each team, but the West capitalizing, and they moved 57 yards on that last touchdown drive, capped off by Carmen Lacqua's 25-yard touchdown pass on a halfback pass to Scott Yomel.
During the quarter break there was a very familiar sight down on the sidelines with John Gibbons holding up the chalkboard and going through the plays.
He's a master of that thing. All right, here we go. The East comes to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 5. They have the ball at their own 26-yard line. Aaron Henkel has Ryan Rogers go in motion. The handoff up the middle to the fullback, Dolce, and he is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. He was met head on, and a gain of maybe a half yard on the play. It'll bring up third down.
We have the sun now just starting to lower just above the trees on the opposite side of the field, and it is hitting us right in the eyes. So if we make a wrong call on a number here, I hope they'll forgive us out there.
It's a good night for the Rays. And the East in a throwing situation now, third down and a long 5. They go with a wide out on either side. Here is Henkel to throw. He is going to be sacked, and it is Scott O'Donnell from Lake Catholic teaming up with one of his fellow teammates, Stan Holian, and they came in there basically untouched, and the sack will move the football all the way back to the 16-yard line. A loss of 10 on the play, so it's fourth down, and the East is going to have to punt the football.
I actually carried him almost all the way back to the 10-yard line, but they put it up back where his forward motion stopped. This is a dangerous punt from near your own end zone.
And whether you get it off or not, Carmen Lacqua was dangerous as he stands at the East 45-yard line. And Henkel will stay in to punt. He stands at his own 3. The snap, Grabbed down. Here come the West, and I don't know how they missed blocking that. There's going to be a roughing the kicker. The West came after that football, and they did not get a piece of it, so the official throws out the yellow hanky, our first of the, or make that our second of the game. And the East is going to get the football back.
Big break for the East. They had themselves caught down in their own 16. They're going to move the ball now, it looks like. Let's see where they spot it. This is a big break.
Jerry Selecki, one of our referees tonight, making the call.
Out to the 21, it looks like. 31.
The East so far pretty inept on offense. 8 offensive plays, 27 yards. And they have yet to move the football with any consistency. We have 10:28 to go, first half. And the West on top, 7-0. Ryan Rogers goes in motion, inside handoff to Alston, and he is brought down. And it looked like he was hit by his own man. Center Ben Johnson from Harvey was down on the ground, the center, and Alston ran right into him, and he fell forward for a gain of maybe 3.
A little bit of a trying to cross up the defense on that play with a cutback motion from Alston. So we do see him in there on the offense also.
He is a very versatile player. Aaron Henkel brings the team out of the offensive huddle.
Alston goes out of the game. Wallace Cooper checks in.
He's an offensive lineman, 5'10", 212 pounds. Mike Kapp goes in motion from Painesville Harvey on 2nd down and 8. And Henkel rolls out left, throws, and it's incomplete. He threw it in between 2 receivers as Kapp couldn't get a hand on it, and neither could Brett Rodstrom from Painesville Riverside, so it brings up another 3rd down and long situation. And the East having all sorts of problems throwing the ball.
Henkel appears to be having a little bit of difficulty getting used to the position. He's also, looks like he's coming off the ball rather quickly, and maybe not setting up quite as soon as he should. But hopefully as the game wears on, we'll see him adjust to that position.
Some of these players playing their final football game of their careers, some tuning up for college football. Here's Kapp in motion on 3rd down. Henkel throws it deep down the sideline. Alston runs under it. He can't quite get to it. And if he would have caught that football, it would have been clear sailing down the sidelines.
Henkel really aired it out that time. That really shows you the strength of Aaron Henkel's arm.
Brandon Stetter, make that good defensive play. Sean Surtee was trailing on it. Yomel was also coming over. But the 2 defenders were about 4 or 5 yards behind the intended receiver. So another 4th down, and Henkel will try punting again. Carmen Alacqua this time sets up at his own 39. And Henkel drops back deep, looks to the sidelines, and he is ready, standing at the 20. The punt, the snap goes right through his legs. He gets it back, gets the punt off, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see where they spot the football. They're going to spot it at midfield. Henkel was lucky to get that kick off, but the pressure was not coming until the final seconds, and Henkel did get the football off, and the West, again, in excellent field position.
Fans were yelling for a roughing the kicker call, but I'm sure that he got his hand on the ball as it was getting off of Henkel's foot. Excellent defensive play.
So the West with their 3rd offensive possession, and they come out. They'll have John Coco from Lake Catholic split wide right. And Jeff Schlatt sets up Brian Wervey and George Orlando in the backfield for the West. 1st and 10. We have 9:24 to go first half. Here's a handoff to Orlando off the right side. Bounces off one man, still on his feet, fighting for yardage into East territory and down at the 49. And the tackle was made by
like Derek Stetter out there from center.
And also Rob Vayacula from Madison, the defensive end. And Orlando, just a tough player. Hard-nosed football player from Willoughby South. And he fought for some extra yardage.
Look like they're adjusting some equipment out there. I'm sure not only the players prepare for this game, they have to get the equipment ready for this game.
Football sits at the 49. to the near side of the football field. Jeff Schlatt drops back. Quick hit over the middle. It's deflected and thrown behind Eric Anderson, the intended receiver. Anderson from Willoughby South, and now a little pushing and shoving. George Orlando and Chris Luoma from Menor. A couple of GCC rivals.
Those guys will probably always be rivals. They had some showdowns on the gridiron last fall, and they're just keeping it up here in the summertime.
Of course, the GCC no longer, as Menor takes off for the Lake Erie League beginning this fall. We have third down and a long 8 for the West. Coco splits wide left. Yomel and Worthy in there. So all three receivers from Lake Catholic. Schlatt will call the signals. Back to pass. Orlando and Luoma still pushing and shoving, and now Schlatt looks, he throws on the run, and it's going to be caught at the 44-yard line. And a nice play, and Schlatt was going down to his knees, and the pass was caught by Charles Bowler from Lake Catholic.
Buttigieg had Schlatt in his grasp. He just about had him down, but he was nimble enough to get that pass off.
Schlatt, he's big for a quarterback.
He is a big kid.
Jeff Schlatt is 6'2", 205 pounds. It's more like a fullback. Fourth down for the West. Ball spotted at the East 45-yard line. And we have 7:46 and counting left in this first half. Schlatt again with three receivers. The defense at a 4-3, and here's Schlatt to pass. He looks in the flats, throws out, and the catch is made by Scott O'Donnell, the tight end. He tiptoes down the sideline, but he went out of bounds right near the line of scrimmage, and that would turn the ball back over to the East.
Looks like Craig Orsog from Menor was the one who put the pressure on and made him step out of bounds.
So the West will send the defense on the field. The West in the purple uniforms with the white pants. The East in their white jerseys with the purple letters and numbers. So the East, first and 10, pretty good field position at their own 43-yard line.
See if Wally mixes anything up here. He's gone pretty steadily with the pass, the run and shoot offense that we've talked about. See if he varies from that at all.
Henkel at quarterback, first team Lake County and All-Ohio punter. Here's Henkel rolling right on the options, going to take it himself, and he is buried at the 46, a gain of only 2 on the play, and in there was Dave Joss from Wycliffe. So the Blue Devil comes up to stop Aaron Henkel with short gain on the play.
Looked like he had a little assistance there from South's Nick Veratsko.
Coach John Gibbons and his staff roaming the sidelines. And Wally Kessling on the far side for the East, trying to figure out how to move the football on this defensive squad. John Gibbons, a very good defensive coordinator, defensive mind. Second down and 8 for the East. Here's Henkel to throw, quick hit over the middle, and it's nearly picked off by Joss. He had it go in and out of his hands, and on that play, the intended receiver was Mike Kapp from Painesville Harvey. That was another dangerous play.
Kessling is shuffling in and out Alston there in the running back position, and he's coming in now with a new play.
.6:42 left in the second quarter, 7-0, the West with the lead. Henkel gives a little instruction to Dolce, his fullback. Third down and 8. Ball at the 46-yard line of the East. Henkel, straight drop back in the pocket, throws deep down the side, the middle of the field, and Alston couldn't catch up with it. And it'll bring a fourth down and another punting situation for the East.
It's a tough pass thrown across the field like that. And he was trying to get his feet set and trying to hit Alston at the same time.
And he threw off his back foot.
Another long fourth down for the East squad.
So Henkel will stay in the punt. I mentioned he's an All-Ohio punter in Division 5 from Fairport Harbor. So the East is supposed to be running the run and shoot. So far it's been the shoot in your foot offense.
Henkel lines up for the punt.
Here's the snap. The kick is a spiral. And the ball bounces, taken by Alakwa at the 23, and he is knocked down at the 25-yard line. And good coverage.
Looks like Austin was down there for the coverage. Dangerous pickup by Alakwa there. He's living dangerously.
Got quite a few players in this game moving on to play some college football, especially from Lake Catholic. They have playing in this game 8 players going to play some college football, and 4 of them going to Dayton. And we have another timeout on the field, and we'll take a quick break. 6:29 to go first half. It's the West 7, the East nothing, and the Save-A-Site football game here at Menor Memorial. We'll be back in just a moment.
You clap your arms and your feet start kicking. And you know you're doing the funky thing. It's all right. Do the funky chicken now. 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 Do the funky chicken now.
We've already said no to drugs. What do you know we said yes to? Computers.
I like dancing.
Music.
Hip-hop. Boys. Girls are weird because I don't fight with boys, let me tell you right now. Different types of sports.
I like taking pictures.
My history.
Yeah, I want to go to college.
I like cars. I want to be a lawyer because I like helping people out.
Hey, we don't want drugs. Know why? We have better things to do.
Welcome back to the Save-A-Site football game. Mark Tromba, Brian Lawrence, and we are back. The West with the football. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The West with the lead, 7-0. Jeff Schlatt still the quarterback for the West from Willoughby South. He turns, hands it off to Carmen Alakwa. Big hole. He turns, spins, and fights for some yardage across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Derek Stetter brought him down. Good open field tackle by Stetter.
Alakwa is so elusive. Ran for over 2,300 yards. Total offense. He had 1,400 on the ground. He had a total of 28 touchdowns. And Alakwa was one of those players going to Dayton University.
I think John Gibbons would like to go to Dayton University there with some of those players. They really form a good football team.
2nd down and 4 for the West. As the clock winds down, inside of 6 minutes to go until halftime, and it's been a low-scoring affair. Here is the handoff, and again, it is a short game, but it may be a 1st down. Alakwa dove towards the line, and I think they're going to mark him about the size of a football, shy of the 1st down marker. So to bring up 3rd and short.
Thought they might measure this one. It's so close, but it doesn't look like they're going to ask for it. They're less than a yard.
He has to get past the 35-yard line to the other side of the 35, and as you can see, it is just shy of that 35-yard line. Tucci will split to the near side on the short side of the field. Yomel now on the left. In the backfield consists of George Orlando and Carmen Alakwa, and now Coach Kessling wants a timeout. So the East going to take a break.
Looks like there was a little bit of a mix-up on the player personnel out on the field there, so they wanted to stop the clock and not get a penalty called.
And that's something that does not surprise you in a game like this. People trying to grasp different types of situations and knowing where to be and when to be there.
One of the things we're going to have coming up at halftime is the crowning of the Save-A-Site Queen ceremony. We already introduced the queens before the beginning of the game. During the halftime festivities, they will actually choose the reigning queen from 1993.
Football season also just around the corner. The practice sessions begin next month in July. And football season, only from that point, only about 6 weeks from the opening kickoff.
Take this opportunity to maybe ask you a little bit about a sneak preview of the coming year. Have you given some thought to some of the teams that you see making a difference this year?
Well, I'll tell you, Lake Catholic's always going to be tough. So I think Coach Gibbons will have that team right at the top of the North Coast League, but it's hard to say right now, and until we get it really into the practice schedule, you should see maybe Wycliffe making a run with Coach Greg Knackley back in the helm. 3rd down and less than a yard, and the snap was a little premature, and Schlatt fumbled it, and then he picked it up and was knocked backwards. It's going to be a flag on the play. And let's see what the officials decide here as they confer. The officials pick up the hanky, and it's going to be what? No, they're going to wave off the flag.
Waving off the flag. They got 6 officials out there calling this game.
So they're waving off the flag, and they're going to send in the punting unit. So 4th down, and dropping back deep for the East will be Forney from Painesville Riverside. And he was a first conference player, all conference. And here's the kick by Orlando, and he was hit as he kicked the football in a high spiral. Forney takes it at the 30. He's being chased down from behind and knocked down. Good coverage by the West. Good special teams.
A lot of pressure on the kicker there. Looks like they got a hand on the ball as it's coming off the kicker's foot.
A host of players there for the West. And now the East back on offense. They have not been able to get anything going on the offensive side. They played some pretty good D. They had a golden opportunity. First play of the football game, Schlatt threw a pass for the West that was picked off and returned to the 15-yard line, but they couldn't do anything with it. Here's Hankel with Rogers in motion, and they hand off to Dolce, and he is bounced down. He's still on his feet, breaks 3 tackles, comes to the near side. He's knocked out of bounds at the 37, and it's going to be a gain of 6. And I don't know how he got free from those initial hits at the line of scrimmage, but he did, and a good effort by Dolce.
I might be mistaken, but that looked like a little bit of a Statue of Liberty play. The quarterback stalled, gave him the ball, only underhand handoff, and then almost gave him a push to get him going on an off slant off the left side of the line.
Dolce in the regular season for Riverside, he had 126 carries for 654 yards and 10 touchdowns. It's a powerful fullback. Coach Kessling couldn't understand why he wasn't used more in the running situations for Painesville Riverside. Here is Dolce again, this time off right guard, and he slithers his way up near the 40-yard line. O'Donnell was in there, George Orlando in there on the tackle. And also in there for North was Joe Morse. So to bring up 3rd down and short for the East.
With a little over 3 minutes to go in the first half, it looks as though the East might be changing up a little bit, going to the running game here.
And Dolce is going to carry the load. The fullback, 5'10", 195. Hankel, and now the players, Cap and Rogers, switch positions. And now Hankel on a QB keeper with a good surge, and he's got the 1st down. Ben Johnson, the center, making his way and clearing a path for Hankel. And that will move the chains for the East. 1st and 10 at their own 44.
Good push there. It looked like the center did his job, and the quarterback just kept his feet moving.
And we're down now to 2:56 to go until halftime. So the East trying to make a surge at tying this football game by the intermission. Alston splits wide right. He's the only receiver in the ball game. As Hankel, a little pitch, he gets it back and throws deep down the field for Alston. 2 defenders there, and it's incomplete at the 5-yard line. In there was for Willoughby South. That was Phil Pavlowski, the safety. He came up to make the play. And also in there was Sean Surdy from Lake Catholic. Alston using that speed burner to turn it on and go right down the far sidelines. But
once again,
Hankel's got a strong arm.
I was going to say, once again, you see the strength of Hankel's arm. He can really throw it down the field. 2nd down and 10. We'll see if Wally sticks with the passing or goes back to the running attack.
So 2nd and 10, incomplete pass. Stop the clock at 2:35 to go. Here's a shotgun formation. Hankel gets the snap and now turns right. He's going to stay in bounds, and he's going to be brought down by George Orlando.
Great defensive play.
So Orlando keeps them in bounds, and the clock continues to roll. The West would like to get another crack at scoring here before halftime. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
We're approaching 2 minutes to go in the game. We got about 2:10. Score is still 7-0.
Like Coach Gibbons loves a game like this. No pressure. Just to have a little fun, but of course you want to play hard. And both teams have to this point in time. Down to 1:50 to go. 3rd down, and Mike Kapp goes in motion. Here's Henkel, rolls to the right, he turns, flips, and Alston has it at the 50, breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet, to the 47, to the 45, and he is down at the 40-yard line.
Excellent second effort, third effort, looks like a fourth effort there to get him to where he got.
And he got the 1st down. And what do we have? We have a player slow to get up, and that's George Orlando. And the play gives the East a 1st down, and they're going to call a timeout.
With that timeout, we're going to take a quick break before the first half ends, so stay with us. We'll be right back after this message.
The fact of the matter is, the most dangerous thing most people will ever face in their life is the water.
The Signal Processing and Distribution Center, or Head End, is the heart of your local Continental Cablevision system. This facility houses satellite dishes and broadcast towers to capture television signals originating from around the world. Dozens of signals, closely monitored at all times, are assigned a channel position before they're sent on to you from the head end, the heart of your Continental Cablevision system.
Back here at Mentor Memorial, the Save-A-Site football game. We have 1:37 to go in the first half. The East driving. They have it 1st and 10 at the West 40. Here's Henkel to throw. He throws it over the middle. And it's caught at the 25, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Mike Kapp on the receiving end. And they run up to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to hurry it up here.
They got their game moving now.
That was a gain of 20 yards. And Henkel will line him up quickly. Alston splits wide right. And now Rogers goes in motion to the right. Henkel back to throw again. He lobs it over the middle, and it's knocked down by Conor Alakwa. Good play by Alakwa as he came up from his safety position.
That was a risky pass there by Henkel.
That could have very easily been picked off. He just lobbed that thing up there and put it up for grabs, and now we have a flag. And I think a little too much talking by somebody on the East. And the official says unsportsmanlike conduct. Mr. Selecki, the referee tonight. And that's going to be a big penalty. This is knock him backwards, and after moving inside the 20-yard line, the 15-yard penalty will move it back to the 34.
The men in stripes tonight is almost an all-star lineup in itself. These guys have a lot of years of experience. Max Ness, Jerry Selecki, Mike Laszlo, Bob Graff, and Ken Berzano.
And the clock is down to 1:18. And the East will have to come up with a big play here. They face 2nd down and a bus ride as they have to go all the way inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Forney goes in motion for the East. Henkel back to throw again. Here's pressure. He's going to try and elude it to the right side. He throws on the run. Nobody there. He just got rid of the football to avoid the sack. And it's now a 3rd down situation. Holian was racing in from his defensive line spot and tried to get a hand on Henkel, the quarterback, but couldn't do so. But still, he forced Henkel and just get ready to football, and now to bring up 3rd down and long.
Once again, making up the East squad tonight, Fairport Harding, Madison, Mentor, Painesville Harvey, Riverside, and Perry. And making up the West squad, 5 high schools: Kirtland, Eastlake North, Lake Catholic, Wickliffe, and Willoughby South.
Well, what's in the playbook here? For a 3rd down, And we'll say 24. Make that 25. As now Rogers goes in motion right. Hankel again, drops back, throws it over the middle. Nothing there, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended receiver was Forney, and Ryan Worthy from Lake Catholic came up there to defend. 4th down for the East with 1:08 to go until halftime.
Wally sends in Alston with the play. Let's see what he has up his sleeve. It's, as you mentioned, 4th down and a long ways to go.
As you can see, Dave Joss comes into the game from the Wycliffe Blue Devils. As you are right on the line of scrimmage. Ball at the 34. 4th down, and the East going for it. Rashawn Alston in the backfield for the East. Here's Hankel, and a fumble on the play. Hankel's going to pick it up and run it himself, and he's got some running room. He's inside the 20, the 15, and down at the 12. He is short of the 1st down by 3 yards, but there is another penalty on the field.
There you can see the yellow flag laying back at about the 32, 33-yard line, so let's see what the call is.
And that was an odd play. Looked like he tried to wrap around and hand it off to Dolce, but the ball was poked out of there, and Hankel picked it back up and just ran down the field. And the West is going to decline. They will have the football 1st and 10 from their own 12 with 59 ticks left on the first half clock.
Interesting decision there by Gibbons. Do you think he wants to run out the clock at this point, or?
Knowing John Gibbons, he wants to score some more points.
So back to the air.
Back to the air. You know, 2 of his big weapons from this Lake Catholic team, Pete Jelovic and Joe Juravicius, not playing in this game. They'll play in the Dial All-Ohio North-South game in Massillon in August. So they are here in attendance but not playing. Here is Schlatt. They set up the screen to Lacroix. He's got it at the 10, 15 to the inside 20, 25, 30, and he is off to the races. He's at the 50, the 40, 30, and nobody is going to catch Carmen Lacroix. Touchdown.
Looks like one of the favorite plays from John Gibbons' playbook. Get a Lacroix out in the flats and send him for the long run.
88 yards for Carmen Lacroix on the screen pass. And he just, after that initial wave of defenders, he was in the clear, and there's nobody going to catch Carmen Lacroix in the open field. Lacroix 6 foot 170, and he gives the West a 13-0 lead, and Novakovic will come on to attempt the extra point.
Really woke up the crowd here. Everybody up on their feet. A lot of Lake Catholic fans here in attendance.
And of course, this is the home field of the state champion Cougars. Novakovic will line it up. Jeff Schlatt will be the holder. And Brian Worthy will snap it. As the sun starts to set behind the trees there. That's good news. And we have 32 seconds to go in the first half. There you see Jeff Schlatt, the quarterback, is also the holder. He's down on one knee. Here's the snap. The kick is off, and it is good. 32 seconds to go first half. We'll take a break. It's the West 14, the East nothing. On Continental Cable, we'll return to Mentor Memorial in just a moment.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
32 seconds to go in the first half, and the West, after the 88-yard touchdown run by Carmen Alacqua on that screen pass. Catch and run, I should say. And Novakovic to kick off. And the kick is deep into the end zone, and they kicked off from the 45-yard line of the East after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the touchdown. And the East will have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Tempers flaring a little bit on the East side, having some problems adjusting. Let's see what Wally does with 32 seconds left to go in the first half.
And just a few years ago, there was a game marred by a bench clearing brawl. You don't want to see any of that here tonight.
Starting to cool down a little bit. The wind is picking up just a little bit. The sun's gone down behind the trees, so it hopefully makes it a little bit more pleasant, not only for the fans, but the players out there, not quite as hot.
All right, we have Jeremy Beatty in the quarterback now for the East. Beatty from Menor High School. And Beatty turns handed off to Dolce, and he breaks a tackle, but he fumbled on the play. They're going to say he was down at the 23. In there on the play was Dave Joss from Wycliffe, along with Mike Novak out of Wycliffe. So the two Blue Devils teaming up on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Interesting switch with Kessling putting Beatty in as the quarterback. The clock is running down, and I don't think the East notices it. There's 5 seconds left to go in the first half. That's it.
And both teams will head to the locker room. Coach John Gibbons jogs off the field as we look at the scoreboard. It's the West 14, the East nothing. And it's been offense that's belonged to the West. And you have to wonder about the East offensive game plan with really having no true quarterback in this game. They're having their problems.
I see Wally as he's walking off the field talking to a few of his players. He's going to have to take them in at halftime and think about doing a little bit of adjusting. We'll see what he comes out with in the second half.
So only scoring in the first half. Carmen Alacqua has been a big part of that as he threw a halfback pass to Scott Yomel. 2 Cougars hooking up there, 25-yard score, and Jim Novakovic from Lake Catholic adding the PAT. And with 43 seconds to go in the first quarter, it was the West on top 7-0. And that stood until the final minute of the second quarter. As with 32 seconds to go on 1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line, the West set up a screen pass, 88 yards, Carmen Alacqua. And that was all she wrote. He ran down the field basically untouched for the score, and that's where we stand right now, 14-0.
We're going to take a break at this time, and then we're going to come back with our halftime festivities, which includes the crowning of the 1993 Lake County All-Star Save-A-Site Queen. Stay with us.
Okay, attention asthma and allergy sufferers. The following demonstration will show you how to avoid sneezing, wheezing, watery eyes, and other discomforts associated with your condition. Okay, Joe, ready when you are. First, shut out all industrial pollutants. Don't expose yourself to cigarette smoke. Avoid exhaust fumes. How you doing, Joe? Good, good. Don't breathe in any dirt. Don't breathe in any dust particles. Let's see.
Pollen.
What? Pollen! Oh, right. Avoid pollen. Thanks, Joe. Tree pollen and grass pollen. Don't be around ragweed. Get rid of all animal hair. Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Joe. Anyway, stay away from mold. Don't breathe the air on hot days. Boy, this must be difficult, huh, Joe? You know, there is another way. There are treatments available, and they work, Joe. You should find out about them. With the right treatment, asthma and allergy sufferers can all breathe much easier. For free information, call this number.
Okay, introducing the 1993 Menor Lions Save-A-Site Queens. Representing Fairport, Jennifer Nahorniak. Representing Harvey, Crystal Pritchett, escorted by past President Joe Shandel. Representing Kirtland, Jenny Beach. Representing Lake Catholic, Kendra Zupancic, escorted by past President Dave Marshall. Representing Madison, Dawn Pyros. Representing Mentor, Allison Piers. Escorted by Carl Moffett. Representing East Lake North, Angela Breeden. Representing Perry, Monica Blake. And past President Bill Bumgardner. Representing Riverside, Sherry Skadell. Representing Willoughby South, Evie Derizik. Escorted by past president Dave Soule. Representing Wycliffe, Melanie Slupik. And our 1992 Queen from Madison, Melanie Floyd, escorted by past president Chuck Daughters. Let's give these young ladies a nice big round of applause. I'd like to announce that this year's Queen will also receive a ring from Timothy Allen Jewelers, located here in Mentor. And now, the Queen for 1993, Jennifer Nohorniak from Fairport.
So Jennifer Nohorniak is our Queen for 1993, the Lake County All-Stars Save-A-Site Queen of this year's football game. Jennifer comes to us from Fairport Harding High School. Congratulations to Jennifer and Fairport Harding High School.
Jasper will receive the tiara and the rose bouquet. The Mentor Lions Club would like to thank all of the Queen's participants, and I think we ought to give them all a nice big round of applause again. Okay, and that concludes our halftime show for 1993.
So that's it for the Queen crowning ceremony for 1993. Stay with us. We'll be back with a recap of the first half right after this message.
Can TV do any good? One show has helped capture 200 fugitives. Wouldn't you call that a pretty good show? America's Most Wanted.
I'm John Walsh. Recently, America's Most Wanted marked its 200th capture. That's an incredible accomplishment. We couldn't have done it without your phone tips and your support. Thanks for watching and making a difference.
An American crime-fighting success story. America's Most Wanted. This week on Fox.
Lake Erie is Ohio's greatest natural resource, providing both fresh water and great recreation. Now you can show your support for the lake and help fund its protection and enhancement with your very own Lake Erie license plates. Call 1-800-589-TAGS for an application. Lake Erie, our great lake.
And we're back at Mentor Memorial Stadium, and the lights are now on as we get ready to start our second half. Before we do, however, Mark, let's recap some of the scoring and some of the highlights of the first half.
Well, I'll tell you, all the scoring came in the final minute of the first quarter and the final minute of the second quarter. First quarter, Carmen Alacqua, as you see right there, number 20 for the West. He threw a halfback pass to Scott Yomel, fellow Lake Catholic Cougar, and Alacqua put that ball right on the money, and it was a 25-yard score. Jim Novakovic had the extra point. It was 7-0 with 43 seconds to go in the first quarter.
A lot of the first quarter and a lot of the first half looked very familiar to Lake Catholic football.
Also in the second quarter, Alacqua, and that's another Lake Catholic tradition, or a trademark, you could say, is that screen pass. Alakwa caught the football on the screen pass from his own 12-yard line, 88 yards for a touchdown. And again, Novakovic with the extra point with 32 seconds to go in the first half. And that's where we stand right now, 14-0.
As we turn our attention to the east side, which there weren't too many highlights to talk about, but let's talk about their quarterback, Henkel. Had a little bit of a rough start.
Oh, he absolutely had a rough start. Threw a couple of bad passes early on. Has not been able to get going as far as throwing the football. And things are going to have to change for the East if they hope to get back into this football game.
Interesting turn of events there at the final 30 seconds of the first half. Wally Kessling, coach of the East squad, decided to go with a different quarterback, put Beatty in there.
That's right, Jeremy Beatty from Menor. And he was a wide receiver. He came out limping early on in this football game, but he came out there for the final play, had a handoff, and that was the end of the first half. So it'll be interesting to see what we have here in the third quarter coming up. But the West will kick off. And Jim Novakovic, a very strong leg, and he will boot it, and he'll punt it or kick it back deep to either Alston or Forney. Alston from Painesville Harvey, and also for the East, Forney from Riverside. They stand at the 5-yard line. Novakovic will do the kicking, and we are just about set to get underway here in the third quarter. Kick is end over end. It'll drive Alston back to the 3-yard line, straight up the gut to the 10, 15, 20, sees a seam, breaks free, and he is brought down at the 26-yard line. And good coverage that time by the special teams.
Good block by Forney to open him up for an extra 5-6 yards.
And in there on the stop was Doug Hart from Willoughby South, 5'11", 175. So the East will take over.
Still got Beatty now, 84, his quarterback.
So Jeremy Beatty in the game. And another inexperienced quarterback. That's the downfall for this football team. They just don't have one of those quarterbacks that have been through the battles. Beatty with Mike Cap going in motion, hand off to Dolce, and Dolce twists and turns. He is out to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play.
Coach is a strong, hard-nosed runner, as we mentioned earlier, and we may look to see the East going very heavily with him in the second half.
Going to try and pound out the football and also maybe take a little clock. As also on the near sideline is Tom Bacon from Kirtland. He's warming up, so maybe we'll see him to start out the second half as quarterback. Beatty takes a look over the defense of the West. He has Dolce right behind him as the fullback. Second down, they gave him 7 yards on that carry. So it's second down and 3. Here's Dolce again, right up the gut, breaks free across the 40 to the 41. He's got the first down. And a gain of 6, maybe 7 yards on the play. And a couple of big gainers right up the middle on the West defense.
Looks like Wally's headed up the gut to start off the second half. Whether it's going to be a trend, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he's just setting it up for the long pass.
I'd like to see how far Beatty can throw the football, if he can throw it. First down and 10. East has the football at their own 41. In motion goes Mike Cap. And here's Beatty rolling out left. He tosses the ball, and it's almost intercepted. Should have been picked off at the 47-yard line.
Number 34.
In there was Lake Catholic's John Scalero. He will be attending Mount Union in the fall, and that one bounded right off his shoulder pad, and it'll bring up second and 10.
So now we see how Beatty passes the ball, but hopefully that's not going to be the limit of his passing.
As you see Coach Kessling on the sideline trying to come up with a play through the air that will work for him tonight. Second down and 10 as Alston splits wide left. Here is a give, and
22
up the right side of the offensive line is the ball carrier. And that was Matt Adams from Riverside. Adams scored 12 touchdowns last season for the Beavers. Bring up third down and 7. Third down and 7.
If I'm not mistaken, that's probably the first time we've seen Adams carry the ball tonight. Maybe Wally's mixing things up a little bit here to try to work on running the ball more than passing.
Well, now he has a passing situation. 3rd down and 7, ball from their own 44. Cap again in motion. Taps the quarterback as he runs by. And Beatty turns, rolls right. He looks, he's under some pressure from Orlando and a host of players, and down he goes and into a table on the near side. As George Orlando was there, he was also assisted by Holtz. Also in there for the West was Novak, and at that time, Beatty just ran out of running room. It'll bring a 4th down and a loss on the play of 5 yards, and it'll be a punting situation. So Henkel comes back in the game, and he'll boot away the football, and Carmelacqua, he will drop back deep for the West. Just a gorgeous night.
It's cooled off a little bit so that the players aren't under that extreme heat that we experienced earlier, and now it is really nice out there.
Henkel stands at his 25, snaps a little low, he picks it up, he gets away the kick, and Worthy almost got a piece of it. Here's Alaka with a nice catch at the 24, sidesteps one man, runs towards the far side of the field, hops over another man, breaks another tackle, and a flag down the field, so look out, Alaka's going to go away for a touchdown, but this one is probably going to be brought back on a clip. There's Alaka in the end zone for a touchdown. And Forney is trying to tell him there's a penalty flag. All the way back at the 27, and it looked like Chris Nuoma was the man that was clipped on the play.
Excellent piece of running once again by Alaka, but it looks like it's all going to be for naught.
Boy, 76 yards for Carmen Alaka. That one was brought back, though, and the West will still have the football.
He caught the ball. He took a little stutter step to the left to get the defense going the wrong way. He hopped over a player as he's running down the field. Can really move.
Boy, what a player. He's just got that instinct in him. And Alaka gets a nice hand from the home fans of the West. But the penalty, and Chris Nuoma, I'll tell you what, he was not very happy after that play. He was clipped blatantly. And the ball is going to be brought back to the 12-yard line. So 1st and 10 West.
Looks like there's a little bit of confusion. 2, 4, yes, they only have 10 players out there, so here comes Carmen.
So Alaka jogs back into the ball game. He will go to Dayton.
Timeout. John Gibbons is calling for a timeout here. It looks like too much confusion.
Absolutely. So coach calls timeout. And both teams, the East will head towards Wally Kessling and his assistant coaches. And Coach Gibbons will probably head on out to the huddle of the West. You look at some of the players going on to play some college football. George Orlando, I mentioned, from Willoughby South. He will make the move to play in Division II at Slippery Rock. Andy Gusty from East Lake North will attend Ashland College. Also, Joe Morris from East Lake North, he'll attend John Carroll. Also from the West, Bob Link from Kirtland, he'll attend Ohio U.
We've got some good representatives going on to colleges from these local high schools.
Dan, tell you, look at the Lake Catholic list. Dan Holy in Kent State, Brian Holtz, Dayton, Carmen Lockwood, Dayton, Ed Locker, Dayton, Scott O'Donnell, John Carroll, John Scalero, Mount Union, Brian Worthy, Mount Union, and Scott Yomel, Dayton. Not too shabby at all. This part of the state well represented in high school and college football. So the West has the football, 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
New quarterback out there, number 12.
And that'll be Tom Bacon from Kirtland. Bacon turns, hands it off to Alaka, left guard, breaks a tackle, and he just has a nice burst of speed through the hole. And he's out to the 20-yard line, gain of 8 on the play.
Now it's obvious that long run didn't tire him out at all. He's back and running the ball for long gains once again.
He's a workhorse. Tucci jogs out of the ball game. Bring up 2nd down and 3. Yomel splits wide left. John Coco splits near the sideline. And the defenses in this game, again, it's limitations, no blitzing, and you got to play zone coverage. Here's Alaka, twists, he breaks away from one man, 25, and he is stood up at the 25 and driven backwards.
Gang tackled there by 4 or 5 different players. led by Mentor's number 7, Chris Wilson. Tom Bacon from Kirtland is not only a quarterback, he's also a good punter for the Kirtland High School. He's a 5'11", 185-pound graduated senior.
So this game is moving along. We have 7:10 to go, third quarter. It's the West on top, 14-0. Tom Bacon at quarterback. He has Orlando and Alakwa in the backfield. There's Alakwa once again, 30, 35, outside. He is off to the races. Let's see who can catch him. He's at the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5-yard line. Harmon Alakwa putting on a show here in this All-Star football game.
Looks like number 1 from Mentor chased him down, and that's Brandon Stetter, who's about the only one.
And he had the angle on him.
Yeah, but the only one who had a chance.
And he got him inside the 5. Let's see where they spot the football. He spotted it at the 4. So Alakwa continues to chew up the yardage.
I'm sure Alakwa would have been gone if Stetter didn't have that angle to shorten a little bit shorter run.
So the West in business again, trying to go up in this football game by 3 scores. Bacon under center. First and goal at the 4. And a fumble, and Bacon is there to hop on the football. A little confusion on the play.
Looks like a loss of about 4, possibly 5 yards on the play.
Carmel Alakwa's run was 71 yards.
So it'll be second down and goal to goal.
And don't forget, he had a 76-yarder called back on a punt return. 6:22 and counting to go third quarter, and the loss on the play was 3. Second and goal from the 7. Again, Alakwa with a deep setback. Tucci and Yomel are the wide receivers for the West. Tom Bacon turns, hands it off Alakwa, breaks a tackle inside the 5 to maybe the 2-yard line. And down he goes. So this will be and bring up a third down and goal from the 2. And this may be George Orlando territory, the big fullback from Willoughby South.
Sounds good. John Gibbons, when he gets down to this close to the end zone, he used to depend on his big tight end, Jaravicius, or wide receiver, and now he's got George Orlando in the backfield.
So inside the 5, the defense can switch up and do basically what they want. Here is third and goal. Bacon checks over the East defense, turns, hands it off to Alakwa, and he is pulled down, I think, shy. He's inside the 1, and it's going to be up a 4th down, and you could better believe Coach Gibbons will be going for this one.
He's inches. The ball is placed probably 6 inches from the goal line. Now they move it back. It's about a foot.
Here comes Scott O'Donnell. He'll be coming in as a tight end. He'll try and block. And Coach Gibbons sends the play in with O'Donnell. 4th down and goal for the West. They lead 14-0. And they're trying to add on to that. Dietering and O'Donnell are in at tight end, so double tight end set. Alakwa with a deep setback. Orlando is the fullback. Here's Bacon, turns, hands it off to Alakwa, and he dives, and did he get there? He is in, touchdown.
A late call there from the referee, but the ref had the angle on it from the opposite side of the field, and looking down the goal line, spotted the touchdown as Alakwa crosses over from the 1.
And it's now 20-0 in favor of the West, and the Carmen Alakwa show continues. And Novakovic will come on to try and add the PAT here at Mentor Memorial, the Save-A-Site football game, 1993. It's the 23rd annual. And right now, the West trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good. Boy, can he kick the football. Just explodes off his right foot. And we have now 4:27 to go in the third quarter. It is the West 21, the East nothing.
I'm going to take this opportunity now to let the people watching out there know exactly when this program is going to be on. The airing dates for the Save-A-Site game on Continental Cablevision Channel 28 will start Thursday, July 1st at 8:30 p.m., Friday, July 2nd at 8:30 p.m., a special showing Saturday, July 3rd at 1 p.m., Sunday, July 4th at 1 p.m., and Monday, July 5th, again at 8:30 p.m. in the evening. This whole program will be repeated once again the following series of days, starting Thursday, July 8th at 8:30 p.m., Friday, July 9th at 8:30 p.m., Saturday, July 10th at 1 p.m., Sunday, July 11th at 1 p.m., and then the last showing will be Monday, July 12th at 8:30 p.m. If you need to know more information about the game plan or any airings of this program, call Continental Cablevision at 974-7000.
Again, Alston drops back deep for the East, and he is joined by Steve Rhodes from Riverside. And the ball falls off the tee as Novakovic will kick it off.
Must be that heavy wind out there tonight, Mark.
Can't you feel it?
I would say it's probably as dead a wind as I've ever seen. Not a leaf even shaking.
At least in the press box it is. And Novakovic approaches the football, and it falls off once again.
Hurricane winds out there.
What is going on? So Alston from Painesville Harvey, and Rhodes back deep from Painesville Riverside as they stand inside the 10. And Novakovic has kicked the football inside the 5 and even into the end zone once this evening. And we'll try it again. This time it'll be Phil Pavlowski from Willoughby South. He'll hold the football on the tee, and Novakovic will try it once more. The Lake Catholic Rad attempts, and he approaches the football. The kickoff is end over end. Rhodes takes it at the 14, 15, 20 to the outside. He bounces off of one man, still on his feet, and he's brought down near the 30-yard line. So the East down by 21 points. Will come out 1st and 10.
The tackler on that play was number 35 from Wycliffe, Joe Sistorino.
And there is an injured player on the field. And I don't know if that is the ball carrier Rhodes or what, but there is, yeah, it was Rhodes. It looked like he got caught from behind, and he's limping just a bit, but now there's another player down in the field, and we can't quite see who that is from this vantage point. And now we can. It's George Orlando, number 42, and he is up, and he will come off the field.
He's a tough cookie, though. I'm sure he's going to shake that off and be right back in the game.
And John Gibbons jogs off the field. They were saying Coach Gibbons trying to get back into running shape as if you watch him from Lake Catholic games, he will lead the team onto the field by sprinting from the locker room onto the field, and he did that again here tonight.
He's an inspirational leader, no doubt about it. When he leads his Lake Catholic Cougars onto the field, he's always turning and burning first in line. And you would think that in a game that doesn't have that much significance, as this one does as far as the high school standings go, you may not see that much enthusiasm, but John shows it every day.
Oh my, we have the wishbone. Ooh. We have the wishbone for the East as Beatty will call out the signals, 1st and 10. And he turns and hands it off, and the ball carrier is number 22, Matt Adams from Riverside, and Adams has the ball out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5.
So now it looks like he's going away from the passing game and going full-fledged with the running game as he takes on the wishbone offense, with Matt Adams carrying the load along with probably Dulce.
They actually put the ball past the 35 and gave him the 36-yard line. So it was a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 with 3:23 to go, 3rd quarter.
And he's also got Ashton in there at the back, playing the back in the back of the wishbone offense.
Batigi and Dulce are the up backs, and here's Alston. Alston sidesteps one man, trying to use that speed, and he is cut down from behind at the 43-yard line. It's good, though, for an East 1st down. And Scott O'Donnell comes up limping for the West, and now the trainers will go out and try and have a look at him. And he just runs back to the huddle, and the trainer will run back to the sideline. And now we have a timeout. So they're going to call timeout, and Coach Gibbons will pull out the chalkboard, and he will try and design some defensive schemes here as We have now 3:02 to go third quarter. It's the West 21. The East nothing. Will return to Mentor Memorial Stadium in the Save-A-Site football game from 1993 in just a moment.
Coming to TNT.
One day, you can stand on top of the victory stand.
Our country's top Olympic athletes.
And one day you can watch your flag rise above all others.
Go head to head.
And one day you can say, on this day, I am a champion.
The pursuit of Olympic gold begins at the U.S. Olympic Festival, July 24th on TNT.
Satellite technology and Continental Cablevision bring the world to your living room. 5 satellites 22,000 miles overhead relay their signals to our dish receiver. Here at the head end, each is precisely tuned and descrambled if necessary. A cable channel position is assigned to each satellite and broadcast signal and sent on to cable customers who tune them in at home. Satellite technology and Continental Cablevision, keeping you in touch with the world.
Welcome back to Mentor Memorial. Mark Tromba along with Brian Lawrence. There you see Carmen Lacqua sitting on the west bench, and he has that towel over his head, and he has really done the job tonight. 12 carries, 98 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 110 yards. He also threw a touchdown pass. East has the football, though. Here's Beatty rolling out. He's going to keep the football. He's going to be flung out of bounds near midfield. It'll be shy at about the 49-yard line.
Number 34 bringing him down. That was Jamar Dinas of Harvey.
That was Scalero.
Oh, Scalero, I'm sorry.
Wrong side. East, west, south, north, whatever. We have the east-west, and then we have players from north and south here, so
very confusing.
We don't know what direction we're going. 2:56 to go, third quarter, as we continue on here at Mentor Memorial. And there you see the west defensive huddle. Yomel comes in with the defensive play, and here come the East up to the line of scrimmage. Some big boys up on the front lines. You don't want to be at that gathering. Here is Alston, deep setback in the backfield for the East. 2nd down and 5. Here's Beatty, hands it off, a quick hitter off the left side, and it looks to be Dolce with the ball from Painesville Riverside. And he is out for a gain of 3 more. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Crossed midfield to about the 48.
Brian Wervey was there from Lake Catholic to make the stop. So they cross into West territory at the 49. But they face now a 3rd down. They're moving the ball. I think they're using Beatty's speed to try and move around back there. So far, it's working with the 3 running backs, and now the official sees that one of the players needs to tie his shoe.
It looks like Dulcie out there. Spotted his shoe untied.
So I guess it was a shoestring tackle on Dolce, and now he's set to go, and referee Selecki blows the whistle, and the clock starts. 3rd down and 2. Ball spotted at the West 49. Beatty with the backs in the wishbone. He turns, quick pitch right side. Here's Alston. Alston looks for running room. He's got the 1st down. He's inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. And he was brought down by Cisternino and Joss from Wycliffe. And also in there, Brian Wervey from Lake Catholic. But the chains are moved. 1st and 10 for the Eastern All-Stars.
So the East hasn't given up hope yet. They're churning it out on the ground. It looks like they're making a difference. They've got Alston in there too running the ball. That's the 2nd or 3rd time he's run that formation. And it's worked out well for the East squad.
The high school football season will kick off September 3rd on a Friday as you see Coach Gibbons yelling out some instructions to his defensive unit. And he can give them an earful, I'll tell you that. 1st down and 10 for the East. And here's Beatty, turns, hands it off to Dolce. He tries to get wide. He breaks a tackle. He is to the 40, and boy, is he upended inside the 40 at about the 38-yard line.
That looked to be number 83, I think, who made that tackle.
So Yomel and Holy in there to make the stop. Here comes Scott O'Donnell in the lineup for the West. 5 yards to go for a first down. The East driving with the football. Best drive of the game for the East. And Coach Wally Kessling trying something a little bit different here in the second half.
Looks like a little bit of confusion as they come up to the line. They're looking to the sidelines. Now they've got it straightened out.
Alston is about 8 yards deep in the backfield. Beatty turns, quick pitch right side. He is in trouble, sidesteps a man. He gets back near the line of scrimmage, but he's going to be dropped for a 2 loss, and the defense was there. The pitch was a little bit low, and that slowed up Alston.
Caused Alston to double clutch there when he got the ball, and then as soon as he turned around, the defense was in on him.
Down inside of a minute to play here in the third quarter. As you see Alston wearing number 12 on his white jersey. There's Beatty, a quarterback. Rarely see a quarterback wearing the number 84.
That is pretty unusual. I'm sure, I wonder if he even had any idea coming into this game tonight that he might be forced into that position.
Well, anyhow, he is there, and Dolce now the lone setback. 3rd down and 8, passing situation. Mike Kapp goes in motion for the East. And here's Beatty, backpedals, quick hit over the middle, and it's knocked down, nearly picked off by Worthy, number 40.
Worthy was able to get one hand on it there, if diving after it. Good defensive play.
And that'll bring up a 4th down situation. Brian, what do you do with this situation? What does Coach Kessling have in mind?
Well, I think the only thing that's really worked for him tonight has been the quick pitch to Alston around the end. I don't know if he'll try for that again. I don't believe that the defense is in too much of a position to anticipate a pass, although this is certainly a passing position.
Well, you know, Jeremy Beatty must have learned from his brother Jason, who was the Mentor quarterback this year, and of course Jason unable to be here tonight, so brother Jeremy going from wide receiver to quarterback here. And Dolce is the deep setback. Alston now goes in motion from his wingback slot. Quick pitch. Alston looks, rolls out, and he is going to be buried back at the 47. And Holy, along with O'Donnell, was there. Cisternino from Wycliffe, and Mike Novak, the 4 players from the West there to snuff that one out. And it'll be West football. So on 4th down and 8, the East could not come up with a big play, and that turns it back over to the West. But that is the end of the 3rd quarter of play here at Mentor Memorial. And it is the West 21, the East nothing. Will return to Mentor Memorial Stadium in just a moment.
This is David. Oh, what? This is what David's done. David went to college. Annapolis. David taught himself to play piano, the sax, even the bagpipes. Well, maybe not the bagpipes. David was NBA Rookie of the Year. He's also been to the Olympics twice. David even became a naval officer. David's sure done a lot. But you know one thing David's never done? Drugs. David doesn't do drugs. Maybe that's why he's done so much.
Excuse me. Do you wear your safety belt?
Why, no. I don't wear my safety belt.
Thank you.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Welcome back to Mentor Memorial. Mark Traub along with Brian Lawrence. There you see the West leading 21-0 as we begin quarter number 4. Jeff Schlatt back in at quarterback. He throws deep down the field, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the East, and in there on the play is from Mentor High School, Brandon Stetter, the 5'10", 165-pound graduate of the Cardinals. He comes up with the interception, and Yomel was the intended receiver from Lake Catholic, but Schlatt just didn't have enough mustard on the football, and the East will come back out on offense.
You got a player down on the field out there. I can't make out the number. It looks like he's possibly got a stretching injury.
Cramp. Probably has a cramp here in the heat. And let's see if we can get a number here as the trainers go out and work out on him. Looks like it might be Forney. We're not really sure. And the East comes up with an interception there, the second of the game for the East. And both interceptions thrown by Jeff Schlatt of Willoughby South. And it is Forney, number 27 from Riverside. Nice crowd on hand here at Mentor Memorial as the fans from Lake County coming to watch 11 schools and their players take part in this all-star football game.
And at this point, it seems to be the Carmen Alacqua show. There you see us there. We got a cameraman standing in front of us. That's just one of our fans. But Mark Tromba calling the play-by-play, and I'm Brian Lawrence. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight for the 1993 Lake County All-Star Save-A-Site football game presented by the Mentor Lions Club, and they do a great job of it.
This the former home, as you see the sign on top of the press box, of the Mentor Cardinals. Well, they have a fine facility down the road, and they will be now entering the Lake Erie League. And it'll be interesting to see what type of name the other schools in the former GCC come up with.
And there you see John Gibbons, of course, the head coach of the Lake Catholic Cougars, and this is the home of the Lake Catholic Cougars here at Mentor Memorial Stadium. And they probably feel right at home here tonight.
Carmen Alacqua does. He has been the show so far in the ball game. 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had 1 called back on a punt return, and he has thrown a touchdown. And that is the reason that the West is up 21-0.
We're going to go to a break right now. It seems to be the injured player is still down on the field, so stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Gonna take the whole wide world and bring it home to you. Show you things you never seen before. Teach you things you never knew. You can have it all with cable, everything you're looking for. Beautiful things around the world. Cable brings you laughter, tears, and more. It's a way to take the world and make it all your own. Cable television, we bring the world home.
All right, the injured player is up and off the field, and we are set for some football action as the West leads the East 21-0 here in the 23rd annual Save-A-Site football game. And the East has won the last 3 meetings and 8 of the last 10. So they are trying to end that slide right here. Jeremy Beatty in at quarterback, 1st down and 10 for the East. And again, the 3 backs in behind him. Here's Alston using that speed to turn the corner, and he pops across the 30 to the 31. George Orlando in there to make the tackle for the West. And it's a gain of 7. Dan Savron also in there for the West, and also from Willoughby South. Coach Gibbons takes a few steps out onto the sidelines and calls the defensive play. There you see Alston, and he is quite a player from Painesville Harvey.
Alston has been a highlight tonight of the East squad, running some of those off-tackle plays.
He had 7 touchdowns in the regular season in the backfield. Here is Alston again. They're working that right side of the offensive line, and he dives for a 1st down across the 35 to the 37-yard line. All this running is fine and moving down the field, but they are still have that big goose egg up on the scoreboard, plus they trail by 3 touchdowns.
We have another player down on the field.
And somebody else is really in some pain.
You got to imagine that the short time that these guys have to try to prepare for this game is a real factor here tonight. Really only about 2 weeks of training camp to get ready for the All-Star game. It's hard to see the number on the player who's down, but he really looks like he's hurting.
I don't know what the problem is. It's hard for us to tell from this vantage point, but he seems to be in some pain. We have 1 minute gone in this 4th quarter, and it seemed like an eternity thus far. In this 4th quarter, we've had a couple of injuries, and Coach Gibbons, he has the entire defense onto the near sideline with that big chalkboard up in the air and designing some defensive plays. And we mentioned there's rules in this game that are Nothing short of odd, but this is something that have to be done in an all-star football game. First, you have to watch and protect the quarterback somewhat, and there is no blitzing in this football game, and you have to play zone defense. Injured player is number 72 from the East.
Craig Williamson, it looks like, from Harvey High School.
5'10", 222-pound tackle. And he is that right tackle, and maybe somebody ran up from his backside on that last running play from Alston. So it's a first down, though, for the East at their own 37-yard line. 10:49 and counting left in this ball game, and the West still up 21-0. The East with the football. Here is Beatty, rolls out, sets up a pass, he throws, and nearly picked off. That play
looked like it was a broken play from the start. Beatty was looking for someone to hand it off or lateral to, but it just didn't work that way.
So to bring up second down, and you're not going to get a whole lot in the passing department from the East, and we have seen that tonight, both with Henkel and so far with Beatty. These players, some of them playing for the final time in their high school careers. Others will move on to college. And you're seeing some fine football players all trying to come together in a matter of 2 weeks. Here's Alston with a delay handoff. He eludes one man, but there's 5 more waiting for him 2 yards up the field, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's probably about it. Scalero was there. Pavlovsky was there. A host of tacklers for the West. So to bring up a 3rd down and 9.
It's like Nick Verasco was also in on that play.
And Verasco comes out of the game. Here's Beatty, hands off to Alston. Same play, and a different result this time as he barrels across the 45 and puts his head down to the 47-yard line, and this may be pretty close to a first down. They mark it, they say 4th and 1, but it looks less than a yard from here.
Another close 4th down play, and so far tonight the East hasn't had much luck with 4th down plays.
8-yard gain for Alston. And this is moving the football, but it's also moving that clock as it continues to wind down. Inside of the 10-minute mark. 4th down, big play right here. If the East hopes to get back in this game, they're going to have to convert. Alston, the deep setback. Dolce is the fullback, and the quarterback keeper to Beatty, and he did not move an inch.
He hit a brick wall. They're still throwing him back.
It is going to be West football. Good defensive surge by the West, and the East will turn the ball over again. Beatty didn't know it hit him. He just took the football, put his head down, and the surge was won by the defense.
A few defensive linemen right on top of him, but also the linebackers. Stetter, 34, was in on him. It was just a pile of players knocked him back.
And now what do we have? The officials are going to bring out the chains. For what? I do not know. From this vantage point, it looks like he's well shy. Plus, he didn't move an inch on the play.
Of course, there is that one rule in this game that if a team is down by, I believe it's 15 points.
15 or more.
They do have an option
when they score a touchdown to receive the ensuing kickoff, but they have to get into the end zone first, and the West will have the football. So the West will take over in East territory at the 47 with 9 minutes to go in this contest, the 23rd Save-A-Site football game, as the East meeting the West. And Schlatt is back in at quarterback. Now, one play is played here in the second half. He threw an interception. And Schlatt drops back to pass. Some time. Now that time is gone, and so is he. He's down inside his own territory back at the 48, and a loss of 5 on the play. And Chris Luoma came in there, and Luoma was a big-time force for Mentor last year. He had 104 tackles, 26 sacks for 178 yards in loss.
That's amazing. He was also the Lake County Football Club's Defensive Player of the Year.
That is called dominating a football game. What he did last year for the Cardinals helped them to the playoffs, and they were down by St. Ignatius. of course, the eventual Division I state champs. And there's a handoff to Orlando, bounces off one man, hurdles another. He's inside the 45 to the 41-yard line. And nice gain on the play, but he's still going to be shy. It's a gain of 12. It'll bring up now a third down, and we'll call it 4. Well, the one game we broadcast this year at Willoughby South, George Orlando scored all 3 Willoughby South touchdowns, and he kicked the winning field goal in the final minute of the ball game to defeat Brush 24-21.
He's a player who can do it all for you.
Both sides of the football, very good linebacker as well. Eric Anderson is in there as a blocking back, so it's an all-Rebel backfield. And here is Schlatt, gives off to Orlando, and he is hit at the line and behind the line, and it's going to be a loss of a couple. So 4th down, and now the West will punt it away.
The time is really ticking down. It's a clock is a not only is the clock against the East team this year, but it looks like the aerial attack that was expected is also not working out.
We expected to see some numbers put up. The West has done their job. The East has not. Here is Bacon, and his punt may have been tipped, and it's high, almost straight up in the air. It bounces at the 35, inside the 30, and down at the 27. And Bacon had guys coming from all directions, and he barely got that one off. Maybe somebody got a finger on it, but nonetheless, the East will take over inside their own 30-yard line.
Good pressure by the defense. Bacon barely got that one off. We mentioned earlier in the program that the proceeds from this game benefit several charitable organizations in the Lake County area, including the Lake County Society of Crippled Children and Adults, the Lion's Eye Clinic of St. Vincent's Hospital, the Deepwood Center, and a very interesting blind welfare program which trains pilot dogs for the blind.
So far, the East in their run and shoot offense, they've shot themselves in the foot numerous times, and here's another opportunity for them to get on the scoreboard. Here's Beatty, rolls out right, throws the football downfield. It's intercepted by Yomel at the 35-yard line, and the West will come back out on offense. Yomel from Lake Catholic turns in the big play, and again, the West in business.
Well, Yomel has had a couple of highlights to remember from this game. Nice jumping interception there by Yomel. Good defensive player. 5:22 left to go. And as we said before, the clock is ticking down against the East. Tom Bacon's back in at quarterback from Kirtland High School.
You know, as much talent that play in these games, these all-star games, there have been 7 shutouts in the history of the Save-A-Sight game. Here's Orlando using some speed to turn the corner, and he's down at the 20-yard line, and another player seems to be shaken up on the play, and now he is up. But nonetheless, George Orlando picking up a nice gain of 15 yards, 1st and 10.
Orlando is a real gutsy player. I was talking to his coach before the game, and he was saying he was one of the best players he had to coach on this squad because he was always giving it his all.
1987 was the last time there was a shutout in the Save-A-Sight game. The East won 19-0. Here is Tom Bacon with George Orlando, the lone setback, straight up the middle, and the fullback is inside the 15 to the 14-yard line before he is brought down. And in there on the tackle for the East was Jeff Cooper. And now we have a timeout for the East. So the East will trot over to the sidelines, and the West will take off their helmets, catch a breather, and so will we. We have 4:18 to go, 4th quarter. It's the West 21, East nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Fun as a human hair, immune to interference, and extremely reliable. Fiber optic cables form the backbone of your cable system. At the head end, lasers convert TV signals into beams of light, all carried within a single fiber. A fiber node changes the light beams back to TV signals before reaching your home. Building with fiber optics is part of Continental Cablevision's ongoing commitment to quality.
Lake County, Ohio, first for family fun. The best beaches, parks, golf, resorts, fishing, wineries, bed and breakfast, nurseries, dining and shopping, and lower taxes. Off Route 90 on Lake Erie, 1-800-368-LAKE.
Back here at Mentor Memorial, Mark Tromba, Brian Lawrence. There are two Lake Catholic Cougars. Carmen Alakwa on your right, Brian Worthy on the left, and Alakwa has been the player of the game so far. And here's a give to Orlando, and Orlando makes his way inside the 10 to the 5-yard line, and the West driving for yet another score.
That was an excellent fake by the quarterback. Such a good fake. It faked out our cameraman, and we were having a hard time following that one. But good run by Orlando to get it down inside the 10.
Stay tuned. Following the game, we'll hear from both head coaches. And we're at the 4-minute mark. It is first and goal from the 7-yard line. Tom Bacon, the quarterback from the Kirtland Hornets. George Orlando, the lone setback. He takes the handoff, breaks outside, and he is to the 5, and that's it. 5-yard line, and that is it. Adam Birch from Painesville Harvey was there first. 5'10", 185 pounds, and it'll bring up second down for the West. And there, what is that?
Oh, boy, it's hard to tell. That's some kind of a mascot for this game. I think it might even be the Mentor Lion with his mouth wide open.
I don't think that's the Mentor Lion.
Unless he closes.
That's not a producer, is it? That's who?
Oh,
Eddie Eyeglass. Oh, I see. Very good. Look at that.
Of course, the Mentor Lions Club benefits the...
I'm sure he's nice and cool in that uniform here tonight.
Mentor's Lions Club proceeds from this game benefit the blind, and that, of course, is Eddie Eyeglass, the mascot.
All right, Eddie. 2:55 and counting. Here it is, second down. Here's Orlando, breaks a tackle into the end zone for a touchdown. George Orlando. He was the workhorse on that particular drive, and he caps it off with a 5-yard touchdown burst, and it's now 27-0.
Well, Gibbons decided to cross up the defense a little bit with a few fakes, and at the same time crossed up our cameras a little bit. But we were able to catch the tail end as George Orlando plows into the end zone.
And the PAT here is Jim Novakovic. And Schlatt will do the holding. Here's the kick, and it is good.
Very consistent kicker.
Now, he can boot the football, and he had a big field goal in the playoffs last year against Youngstown Ursuline as he kicked the come-from-behind winning field goal. The Cougars were down 21-0, and he provided the game-winning points on a field goal with under a minute to go. And Lake Catholic marched on to their second straight state championship in Division III. This year they'll be moved up to Division II, so should be interesting. 28-0 our score with 2:49 to go in the ball game. And we are going to take a break, and we will return with the kickoff in just a moment.
On Headline News, you can get all the latest news when you want it.
The only network with updated world news on the hour and a half hour.
Business reports at 15 and 45 after the hour, every hour.
Sports updates at 20 and 50 past, and entertainment news at 25 and 55 past the hour.
Headline News, a whole day's news every half hour. Check cable listings for the channel number.
This summer, CBS is a great place to race. On Saturday, July 17th, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, it's the ARCA 150 from Pocono. Then on July 18th, same time, same place, NASCAR's big boys get ready to rumble at the Miller Genuine Draft 500. A super fast doubleheader, live beginning July 17th, exclusively on TBS.
Jim Novakovic to kick it off for the West. They lead 28-0 with 2:49 to go in this ball game. And the kickoff is taken by Forney at the 10. 15, back to the near side, and he is hit and hit hard. At the 16, Phil Pavlowski was in there. Along with Cisternino from Wycliffe, Coco, and a host of The West All-Stars and the East will take over again in very poor field position, as the West has dominated this football game. Coached by John Gibbons, he will be 2-0 in coaching the Save-A-Site game. The West has scored once in each quarter here tonight, and they lead it 28-0. And let's see, we have a new quarterback in the game, and the new QB is Ryan Rogers from Perry. Rogers will drop back, he'll roll out, and he is in trouble, and down he goes inside the 10-yard line. So the third quarterback of the night for the East, and Bob Link was in there for the West All-Stars. The East has really had their problems tonight. You got to throw the football, or else the defense will key on that running game. And the East, with not a true quarterback in this football game, has had to go with 3 different guys. And it has not worked, to say the least. Minute and a half to go in the game. After the game, Brian Lawrence will speak with both head coaches. Here's Rogers, adds it off to Dolce. Dolce veers to the right side. He's across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Andy Gusty was in there to make the stop for the West All-Stars. He, of course, from East Lake North. And Andy Gusty will play his college football at Ashland College. Down to a minute to go in the contest, as some of the fans head for the exits. It is 3rd down and 11 for the East. Don't forget, if they score, they will receive the football. They have the option to receive the football on the ensuing kickoff. Here's a handoff, Dolce once again, and he is stopped shy of the 20-yard line at the 19, gain of a couple to bring up 4th down and 9. And we're down inside of 30 seconds to go in the contest. So this is going to be the first shutout in the Save-A-Site game since 1987. Since 1987. And there have been 7, make that now 8 shutouts in the Save-A-Site game. After this one is history in just 6 seconds, and they're not going to get another play off. They will try and hurry to the line of scrimmage, 2 seconds, 1, and that's it. So our final score here from Mentor Memorial, it is the West 28 and the East nothing. And the West dominated this football game, both on offense and in defense. And they will shake hands now at the 30-yard line. And a nice round of applause for both teams in this all-star contest. But our final score, it was the West 28, the East nothing. We'll take a break, and Brian Lawrence will come back. We'll hear from both head coaches. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Screwball.
Batter up.
The Foul Ball. The Pop Fly. Catch all the action of Baseball 93 from the first pitch to the final out. Get the whole story behind Baseball 93. Saturday on CNN.
Our commitment is to provide you the best television signal possible. We constantly monitor signal quality from the head end, throughout the system, and into customers' homes. Our well-trained and dedicated staff is always on the lookout for possible cable damage. Technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to optimize cable signals and help Continental Cablevision meet our commitment to quality.
Welcome back to Mentor Memorial Stadium, where tonight the West All-Stars defeated the East by a final of 28-0. Carmen Alacqua, another huge game. The former Lake Catholic star, he'll be heading to Dayton, but we'll get into more numbers in just a few moments. The West scored once in each of the 4 quarters, and they run away with this one. The first shutout in a Save-A-Site game since 1987, and the 8th shutout in a Save-A-Site game overall. Brian Lawrence is down on the field, and we'll check in with him now. He has both head coaches standing by. Brian.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And joining us now is Coach John Gibbons. John, another successful outing here at Mentor Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, it was sort of special because for our coaching staff and our players, it's our home field, and we've had a lot of success here. But more importantly, we played as a team, and all the guys pulled together no matter where they're from, and it made it a real great experience. I think it's a credit to not only the players out here, but to the coaches that sent these guys over, because it was really a great group of guys to work with.
You know, I think a lot of people watching the game, if they watched Lake Catholic during the year, they saw a lot of similarities out there. A little bit of hitting Carmen Alacqua out in the flats and letting him do the work, and it looked very similar to some of the Lake Catholic games. Is that what you had planned on?
Yeah, most definitely. It's been successful for us, and we knew some of the other guys had to pick it up in a short time, so we just sort of limited our game plan a little bit. But you saw the screen pass there, you saw the halfback pass, and you saw the running attack there when we needed it. The guys started making some blocks and played some great special teams and defense.
You know, I think that a lot of the fans who are watching this game tonight, there was definitely some Lake Catholic fans out there, because they were saying the same sort of cheers that you hear at the Lake Catholic games. But it was a real mixture of the other kids from the other high schools. How did you pull them all together for this particular game?
You know, as I said, I have to give them credit, because a lot of times they bring their differences and their rivalries together and all that kind of thing. And these guys were mature enough to put all that aside. I thought it was a hard-fought game on both sides and a clean game. And you know, we talked about that the very first night that we came together, and we emphasized it. But they had the character to do it, as I said, and obviously they came from some programs where they've been taught that.
Of course, one of the trademarks of John Gibbons' teams is a good, tough defense, and you could see it out there tonight. What were some of your strategies on the defensive side of the ball?
You know, we knew that they were going to run a run-and-shoot type offense, and we were in a 4-3 defense, and basically a 4-3 defense lends itself to defending the passing game. So even though there were restrictions on the defense, I think we were in a defense that was well-suited to go against that.
Well, John, this is your second year of coaching, or second time coaching the All-Star game, and a second victory for you. How does it feel?
It's always exciting. You know, it's fun to be on the winning side, and more importantly, I think everybody played well and showed some class out here tonight, so it was a real enjoyable experience.
This looks like one of your close fans now.
That's Michael Gibbons. He's ready for another season.
We'll see him out here someday, I bet.
Yeah, he'll be ready.
Thanks for joining us, Coach,
Brian.
And once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Joining us now is Coach Wally Kessling, of course, coaching the East Side tonight. And Wally, a tough loss to swallow, but a well-played game.
Well, anytime you play a game like this for charity, it's worthwhile. Yeah, we had some kids get hurt, and kids went down with some heat problems, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty good game.
Is it tough for kids to get used to? There's a ball flying in here. Is it tough for kids to get used to playing a game like this in the middle of the summer with only about 2 weeks of preparation?
Well, I think maybe the 2 weeks could, you know, again, you don't want to try to get them too long, and again, we tell them we're not going to try to get them into shape, you know, come in some kind of reasonable shape, and a lot of them haven't done much since last football season, so when it gets hot and the adrenaline gets pumping, you can have some heat problems sometimes.
Going into the game, you were hoping for the run-and-shoot offense to work out for you. Did you have to make some adjustments there before the end of the first half?
Well, we had to make a couple adjustments. Our quarterback got banged up a little bit, and right at the halftime, they think he might have broken his knuckles, so we had to go with a kid who hasn't played quarterback since junior high. He went down in the middle of the fourth quarter, and we had to play a kid who hasn't played quarterback since he was in 6th or 7th grade. So we knew there was possibility of some quarterback problems, and we ended up with him.
You got to give them a lot of credit, those kids who were forced to play in the positions they're not used to, because all in all, they did pretty well.
Well, I thought our kids gave a great effort. You know, each and every one of those kids played their heart out there, and you know, they were upset with the loss, which I think you should be all the time if you lose. But you know, I told them if you've given it all you've got, sometimes you can't win. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, Wally, certainly was interesting to get a group of guys together from different high schools and try to prepare them for something like this. Do you give them any kind of pep talk prior to the game, or what is it that you need to tell them to get them cohesive?
Well, most of these guys, you don't have to tell them anything. They've been playing since they've been 8 or 9 years old, or maybe even before that in the little leagues, so you don't have to tell them much. They're ready to play usually when you get the gear on.
Okay. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us for this post-game conversation. And I know this is, what, your third time coaching the All-Star game?
Yes, this is third time. I did once with the West and twice with the East.
Okay, so you've seen it from both sidelines. Thanks so much for being with us, and good luck this coming fall in your football season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, joining us now is probably the game's most outstanding player. I don't know if that's official yet, but Carmen, you had quite an outing tonight. But you've had these kind of outings before for the Lake Catholic Cougars. Is this game any different for you?
Well,
no matter if it's charity or not, every time I, come on the field, I play to win. And especially now that we're in the jungle, Lake's home field, I felt real comfortable. A little rusty starting out, but I think that was expected, because, it's the middle of the summer and everything. But I felt pretty comfortable. I think on both sides of the ball we had a pretty good game.
That's been a question all night, I think, for the guys playing in this game, is how can you prepare in 2 weeks, and are you going to be physically able to play a game like this? How do you feel it was for yourself?
I felt that I was physically up to it. I think the adrenaline got going, and that helped me out. You have to simplify it a little bit because you only have 2 weeks to prepare. But we used Lake's one-back offense, and we simplified it a lot. Basically we're out here to have a good time. It's football, and we're all having a good time. So.
Well, you certainly had a good time. It was the Carmen Alacqua show out there tonight. I think he had unofficially 12 carries for 98 yards, another over 100 yards in pass receptions, and you also threw for a touchdown pass. You had a 76-yard run that was called back. A lot of work tonight. Do you feel good about it?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I mean, I try to do, as much as I can, no matter if I'm throwing the ball or running with the ball. I try to, help my team in any way, in any aspect of the game I can.
Well, Carmen, what's next for you? This is pretty much the last game in the high school ranks. Where do you go from here?
I'll be attending the University of Dayton in the fall.
Well, back down on the field now is our man from the booth, Mark Tromba. And Mark, I just got a chance to talk to Carmen Alacqua, and boy, what a show he put on tonight.
Absolutely, by far the most valuable player of the game, and this is a young man that really thrives in that Lake Catholic style offense that was instituted here tonight by Coach Gibbons, and just an outstanding job in the screen passes, the punt returns, even threw a touchdown pass. So this is a guy that can basically do everything, and he did it here tonight, and the West ran away with it 28-0.
We have some unofficial statistics that we kept up in the booth. Why don't you run down those for us?
Well, for Carmen Alacqua, I mean, this guy is the MVP. He had 12 carries for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 receptions for 110 yards, plus he, as I mentioned, he threw that touchdown pass to Yomel to begin the scoring. Let's run down the scoring real quick. Alacqua threw that halfback pass in the first quarter with only 43 seconds to go to Yomel, 25-yard touchdown. Novakovic had the PAT. It was 7-0. Second quarter, they didn't score until the final minute. The first half is Alacqua, 88 yards on a screen pass. It was 14-0 at the intermission. In the third quarter, Alacqua took it in from 1 yard out, and it was a drive of 71 yards. It put the West up 21-0. On that drive, Alacqua had a 76-yard punt return that was called back because of a clip. So it was 21-0 heading into the fourth quarter, and then in that fourth, it was the all-South Rebel backfield with Schlatt at quarterback. Orlando was in the backfield, and George Orlando took it in from 5 yards out. That was the final scoring in the game. Novakovic again with the PAT was 4 of 4 tonight, and the final score here tonight, 28-0. The first shutout in the Save-A-Site since 1987, and the 8th shutout overall in the 23-year history.
And as you can see in the scoreboard behind us, the score is still up there, like you mentioned, 28-0. That's it from the 1993 Lake County All-Stars Save-A-Site football game. Boy, that's a mouthful. That's hopefully the last time I'll have to say that. Mark, thanks so much for being our play-by-play announcer here tonight. Once again, a great job. And we'll see you this coming fall as we cover local high school football in Lake County.
That's right. For those of you high school football fans, September 3rd is the opening weekend of high school football in Northeast Ohio.
Thanks for you out there for tuning in to Continental Cablevision and watching our special presentation of this Save-A-Site All-Star football game. Be with us this fall for high school football at its best. Get into the game with the game plan.